Back once again for the renegade master. 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 Back once again for the renegade master.
Hello my renegades and welcome back. And what are we getting into? We are getting into the ultimatum, marry or move on, season 2, and this is episode 4. So basically what we know on this episode is all the couples have moved into with each other and they're starting to get into their groove. Okay, so you end up seeing Rhea and James because James on the last episode went for a run and basically everything was fucking with his head. So I don't know if he then came back in a different frame of mind to actually give this experiment a try with Rhea and allow her to experience the experiment as she wishes to as well. So as we get into it, Rhea and James are in their apartment and they're playing like a sex card game. All I could say is Rhea's a bit of a prude. Like seriously, she is a bit of a prude. The only thing that I didn't like in regards to the game is when she started to like call out Trey in the sex department. She started to call out Trey left, right, to the centre. And I'm like, don't do that to the man. Like seriously, well and truly, don't do that to the man. Because at the end of the day, you was with him long enough. You moved in with him knowing that you're going to get sexual interactions with Trey at the end of the day. And then you come on this show to bag him in front of millions, but also to the man that you said that you wanted to do this experiment with. That's not nice. That is not nice, because if he was bagging you the way you bagged him to James, to Ryan, you wouldn't like it in the slightest. So at the end of the day, if he is lacking in certain areas, nobody tell James. You need to be telling Trey that. You need to be telling Trey that, because at the end of the day, it's you and Trey that's in the relationship. So if something is making you unhappy within that relationship, then you need to have that communication with Trey. It's no good you telling James, because then you're giving James an opening to your relationship to see where things are lacking. And if he was one of them guys, to see where he could jump in and fuck that shit all the way up. So I would be careful in what you tell other people about your relationship. So it does show all the other couples, but they're all getting on and okay. And then it goes back to Rhea and James, and basically James has done something nice for Rhea in terms of the flower petals, getting a bottle of champagne, and then I think they're at a pool or something like that. And my thing is Rhea enjoyed it. Rhea enjoyed the hell out of that. But when in the VC, when it was her and Trey together, Trey was explaining what he did, I think it was for her birthday or for Valentine's Day, where he trailed all the rose petals to the bed, candles along that trail, a nice negligee or lingerie, whatever you want to call it, on the bed. And Rhea's reaction to that was, yeah, it was okay. But she fucking loved it when James did it. So you tell me, like, I was confused as hell as that. I thought, is it because Trey did it? It was lackluster. But then when James did the exact same thing, minus the freaking negligee, I might add, you absolutely loved the fact that he did that for you. James was calling her a 10 out of 10, and Rhea was excited because he was knocking it out of the park at that moment in time. So for them two, it looked like it was going okay. I will say that for now, but then we'll get into more of it. For them two, it looked like it was going okay. And then you see Kat and Antonio, and they've gone out on a date. And Antonio's explaining that he had never been financially stable. And it was like, when it came to Roxanne had an expectation of how things were meant to be. Like when she wanted to go out or wanted to go festivals or wanted to do other things, she wanted him to take the lead. And basically he's saying that he couldn't afford it. He could not afford it. And that was the reason why he didn't do those things. But he didn't tell Roxanne that, basically. And he's saying that it comes across as though he didn't give a shit. And I'm like, well, why are you with a person like Roxanne then? I just don't understand that. Why are you with a person like Roxanne? Because you know how successful Roxanne is. You know that she has hella hard work ethic. Like she works all the bloody time and likes the finer things in life, and expects the person that she's with to actually have that gumption and to have that ambition, to have that ambition in order to push along and show her that you're on her level. Now, if you already know that there's going to be like a level imbalance in regards to where you are and where she's, then why are you with her? Because you cannot meet a need that she's obviously asking for and looking for. So basically he was saying that he operates in a box with Roxanne, and this is why I say their relationship, as time goes on, their relationship is quite toxic, because that's not healthy. The way in which he reacts to stuff and how he behaves, their relationship is just, I just don't know. I just don't know. Do I think that they will last? I don't know. They've lasted thus far. I don't know if this show will literally show them where they're actually going wrong, or they need to fix up in regards to their relationship. But then that goes for everybody. This show is supposed to open up where the gaps are for you to have those discussions and see if that person's able to meet those gaps, or literally it's a case of you're going to cut things off, especially if you ask them to marry you and they say no at the end of the day. Carrying on with Antonio, he was talking about the fact that, you know, he was always high, but he's managed to get over the other side of that in regards to that. And this is where I got from when I was talking about them two as a couple last time in regards to their relationship. I think he's the dependent one. He's dependent on Roxanne for things, and she fulfills his needs by being kind of like in akin to being a parent to her partner, which she doesn't want. She doesn't like it, especially around the fact that when she was saying, which I'll get to, that they've split up so many times and come back together. So yeah, something needs to be changed there and fixed up, but we shall see as time goes on what happens next. So as the time moves on, we see Roxanne and Alex like talking, and now them two have both got to the mindset like is that they do want to be married, but they have to have certain things in place first. And it's kind of like Roxanne has gone full gung-ho into this experiment and gone Antonio who, like really has got Antonio who. Same with Alex, he's gone kind of like Cat who, he don't care in that scenario. And it's showing more so when at Roxanne and Alex meet meet Alex's parents first. And all I would say is Roxanne don't shut her mouth. Like, seriously, that woman can talk a mile a minute. And I'm like, let people hang back and converse and be able to respond to, because you weren't letting them do that. You was just like constantly. Even Alex didn't even open his mouth half the time. He was just sat back there listening. But she wasn't very nice to Antonio, to be fair. She did say certain things about him. Alex's mum was kind of giving some good advice. And basically she was saying that she doesn't really sign up to marriage, but her parents want her to get married because she's come from a family where her parents have been together for years, basically. So she knows what a marriage looks like and how it works from a familial sense, because her parents have been together for years. And she's like, she picked Alex because he basically challenges her to a point. Alex's mum was saying, but Kat doesn't do that for Alex. She's quite quiet. But Alex wasn't really piping up in this conversation. He was letting Roxanne have the lead in regards to the talk and what they were talking about. So when Roxanne was talking about Antonio, I was just kind of thinking to myself, well, why are you with Antonio? Like, really, why are you with the dude? Seriously? And Alex's mom does turn around, as I said, ask Alex if Kat is challenging for him. And as I said, Alex didn't say anything. He didn't really say anything. And I'm just thinking, how much is he taking this experiment on board as well? How much is he processing and being able to figure out what it is that Kat wants and see if he's able to meet that need in order to move on with her? Or does he want to move on with someone else? Because to me, he just does not look like he's checked into this at all. As I said already from my last episode, from I think maybe the beginning of this episode, Alex does not like Kat. He really does not like Kat. The same way I think Roxanne doesn't really like Antonio, but he is just a place filler for hopefully for something better to come along. I don't know where their relationship is going to go to, but we shall see. So then it moves on to Rhea and James, and they're having a conversation, and Rhea's getting quite irate in the fact that James does not show her any physical intimacy or any emotional intimacy in regards to like hand holding, in terms of affection and stuff like that. Now, my thing with James is he computed affection to them having sex. Now, Rhea said nothing about having sex with you. She just wanted hugs at times, or cuddles, or holding hands. Like when you went out, you spontaneously held her hand, and that felt good to her because you were expanding and opening up to this experiment. Because at the end of the day, James is still stuck with Ryan and thinking about what Ryan's doing and wondering if he's going to lose her at the end of the day, that he's literally shutting himself down. But in the way that he's shutting himself down to the experiment and to Rhea, he's being quite insulting towards Rhea. To him, being married to someone is having that physical intimacy, which is having sex, which is this, which is that, and it was all of a sexual nature. Now, I'm thinking to myself, James, you're going too gung-ho, and at the end of the day, you are not listening to what Rhea is saying. You are just listening to respond at the end of the day, and you're getting it 1,000% wrong. Because I'm like, if 1 + 1 is 2 and 5 + 5 is 10, then what the fuck is this at the end of the day? Because it's not adding up. The math ain't mathing with James at the end of the day. And I'm thinking he's at the point where he's starting to sabotage the shit that he's got with Rhea in order to make sure that he stays back for Ryan, because the person that he's going to go to bat for is Ryan at the end of the day, and that's how I'm seeing it. But he doesn't have to do what he's doing. He doesn't have to do what he's doing. At the end of the day, you accepted to come on this show. So, as again, you cannot be naive in thinking that you don't know the concept of the show and its rules and regulations at the end of the day. The rest is then up to you, how you then maneuver through that new relationship for 3 weeks with the person that you decided and wanted to accept to live with. I just, that's all I've got to say on that. So then the last bit moves to Ryan and Trey, and they're talking to each other basically, and Trey is literally gushing about Ryan, about the fact that he's actually picking up feelings about her, and that she's made an impact on his life. I'm not too sure if it's on this episode that Ryan and Trey have met her brother and the brother's partner. I'm not too sure if it was this episode. It may have been the next episode, but either way, there will be a little bit of discussions around that. But yeah, so them two are getting on really well, and them two are literally taking part in the experiment as it's meant to be taken part in, basically. So, but Trey is going a bit gung-ho by saying that he's starting to catch feelings for Ryan. But as again, we'll see how this goes, and I will be back very soon with the next episode, because this is where I am going to leave it. So as I always say, please hit that subscription, please hit that hit that subscribe button, hit that notification button so you know when I'm back on doing videos, and anything else that you guys would want to do, I don't mind. So I will be back very soon to grace you with my presence. Peace out and love.